Okay, this is your CBA review we're going over. Number 1, you had to plot the point 18 inches to years. So look at the x-axis and what is it labeled with, inches or years? So I'm going to go to 2 years and there should be a dot at 18 inches. So was A the correct answer? No, because this did not fall on the graph. Let's go to B. I go to 2 years. Was there a dot at 18 inches? Yes. So that's my answer. Now stop before you turn the page and let's look at C. There was a dot at 2 years, 18 inches. So why was that not the answer? It didn't start from 0. What else? It's an undefined slope. Yeah, that's never going to happen. This is saying you're always going to be at 2 years. Well, that's not real life. You're never going to stay at 2 years, right? And D, there was not a dot at 2:18. All right, turn the page. Number 2. Judy can decorate 3 cakes in 5 hours. So that's your point you had to plot. Go to the x-axis. What was on it? Hours. So I went to 5 hours, and I'm looking for a dot at 3 cakes. Yes or no? Yes, but I'm going to go check the rest. Look at G. Go to 5 hours. Was there a dot at 3 cakes? Nope. Go to H. 5 hours, 3 cakes. Nope. And J, 5 hours, 3 cakes. No. All right, so the answer was F. Any questions so far? Go to number 3. When you read this problem, what clue word did you see that tells you what to do? Varies directly. When you see this, you make a box. There's my box. What was I comparing for this problem? Baskets and hours. Does it matter which one I put on top or bottom? No. Since they said baskets first, I wrote baskets on top. I put hours on bottom, but it does not matter if you switch them up. All right, how many baskets?
4.
In how many hours?
1.
Did y'all leave it as a fraction or change it to a decimal? Does it even matter though? No, you could use it as a fraction. I automatically, whenever I see a half, I change it to 0.5. All right, how many baskets, that's my question mark, I don't know, can Nikki make in 5 hours? Why does 5 have to go here? Because it's hours. To solve this problem, you're going to cross multiply. Well, I can't cross multiply those, so I have to cross multiply these.
20.
So 4 times 5 is 20, and divide by what's left over. 4 times 5, divide by 0.5, and the answer is?
40.
Now, this would be a griddable. So let's make sure we know how to grid 40. Your griddable will look like this. Pretend that here's your decimal. This is a plus, this is a minus. What do I have to do? Put the 40 before the decimal. What happens if I put 40 back here? What did I change it to? I changed it to 40 cents. And this is 40 whole numbers of baskets. Do I have to bubble positive? No. Do I have to bubble 4 right here?
Yes.
And 0 right here? Yes. Okay, does anybody have questions on gridding? All right, so that answer was 40 baskets. Again, when you're answering a griddable, you don't have to write it. You're just going to grid it and make sure you grid it correctly.
Will they tell us what grid we need and stuff like that?
So this is going to be on DMAC. You only have one griddable.
Oh.
Like you won't be given a hard copy Scantron like last year. This is all online. All right, the next question. What was your clue word? Varies directly. So you're going to make a box. What were you comparing here?
X and Y.
X and Y, Y and X. Does it matter where you put them? I always put Y on top when I'm dealing with Y and X because slope has Y on top. And if I needed to just divide, Y always goes on top. But you would get the same answer. All right, here we go. Y is 8.4. X is 3.5. What is Y? Don't know. When X is 7.7. So I go to my calculator. I'm going to cross multiply. 8.4 times 7.7. Hit enter. Divide by what's left over. And my answer is 18.48. Questions on varies directly. When you see varies directly, what are you going to make? Make a box. Turn the page. Okay, let's go over. A proportional graph passes through.
0.
I only heard one person. A proportional graph passes through.
0.
A non-proportional graph does not pass through 0. So let's read what it says. Which graph is non-proportional? So do I want it to pass through 0 or do I not? Do not. A passes through 0. B does not. C passes through 0. D passes through 0. Those mean those are proportional. What if that says that on the test tomorrow? Then you pick the one that passes through 0. Are y'all good with that? All right, the next one is talking about functions. What do we only look at to see if something's a function? The inputs, the x's. So I'm going to highlight the x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Was this a function? Yes. I should have all eyes with me. So there's two answer choices that I could mark out because they say it is not a function. What can I mark out? What's wrong with F? It says not a function. It's out. And H says not a function. So now we have to decide between G and J, which both say they are functions. But what did I tell y'all? A function is a function if every input has exactly one output. If every X has exactly one Y. What do we only care about? The inputs, the X's. Which one says that? J. J says because each value of X, it's always based on X. So if it says because X, that's your answer. What if it said because of every input? Input means X, right? All right, turn the page. Number 7. Who figured out that they tried to trick you on number 7?
I got so confused.
Did y'all figure it out?
Nope.
Yeah.
What did they try to do?
1/4.
They gave you two numbers that were the same, but gave them to you in different forms. So let's look at it. Number 7 says, which set is a function? What do we only look at?
The inputs.
The inputs, the x's. So I'm going to look at A. 1.9, 0.9, 1.9. Can I stop?
Yeah.
Is that a function?
No.
Why?
It's got 2.
Because it has 3 the same numbers.
It has two 1.9s.
I saw 3.
2 X's.
If you picked B, I'm talking. If you picked B, you do not understand that 1/4 is the same as 25 cents. Yes? Okay. So what I'm telling you guys is check every single answer. Because if you would have thought B was the answer, you would have known real quick when you looked at, well, C's not it, right? Because it had 2 zeros.
Yeah.
But when you looked at D, you would have thought, wow, None of those x's repeat. Yes? And then you thought that b had no x's that repeated. But they did. Because what is 1/4? 25 cents, and they have 25 cents right here. Also, what is 3/4? So they had 2 that repeated. So let me just tell y'all this. If they give you the x's as different forms, like a fraction, a decimal, change them all to decimals. Why did I not need to change these? They were all in the same form. Yes? But what if they had given me fractions that could simplify? Then I have to simplify them, right, to see if they're the same. But D was the answer. All right, number 8. Which of these representations is a function? So they're telling you at least one of them's a function, but could all 3 be a function? Could they? You don't know yet. Don't look. I got to go check, right? All right, so let's go check representation 1. I'm going to only look at the x's. 3, 2, 0, 1, 2, 4. Is it a function?
No.
Why?
Because there's 2 2's.
There's 2 2's. So look what I can mark out. G and H, because they had 1 in them. And 1 is not a function. All right, let's go to representation 2. What am I going to cover up? The y's. And I'm going to ask myself, does every x only have 1 line coming out?
Yep.
So was this a function?
Yes.
Yes. So what can I mark out? Because it says 3 is the only function. Well, my answer has to be J, but I'm going to go check it. So let's look at 3. 0, 1, 3, 4. Yes. So the answer was J. Representation 2 and 3 were functions. I should have all I's either with me or on their paper. The next one, which set of ordered pairs is a function? What do I only look at? So I have 2, 3, 2, 4. Why? 2 2's, that's out. Let's look at B. 3, 4, 5, 2. Yes. Number 10. Which set of ordered pairs is a function? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yes. If I look at G, there was 2 1's. If I look at H, there was 2 3's. And if I look at J, there was 2 1's. Number 11. Write this down. Vertical line test. Vertical line test. Which graph is a function? What am I going to perform? A vertical line test. All right, here's my vertical line test. How many times did that touch?
2.
Is that a function? No. Look at B. Do a vertical line test. How many times did it touch?
1.
So good? I'm going to do another one. How many times did it touch?
1.
All right, so yes, that's a function. Why was C? Guys, every year people want to pick C. Why is C not a function? If I draw a vertical line, how many times did it touch? Every single spot. Like 1,000,000 times. That is no way a function. Why is D not a function? It touched twice. All right, this next one is on the test tomorrow. It might say proportional. It might say non-proportional. So let's go over the difference. I want y'all to write it right here. Proportional, y equals mx. What will it not have? No plus b. That says plus b. non-proportional will have a plus B. All right, so what is this question asking us for? Which situation is not proportional? So is it going to have a plus B or no plus B? No plus B. All right. No. I don't want proportional, guys. Which situation is not proportional? That means non-proportional. So will it have a plus B?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's look at that. The number of gallons of water in X barrels with 42 gallons in each barrel. How would I write that? Y equals 42x. Is that proportional or non? That's proportional. Let's look at G. An employee makes $8.50 per hour. How would I write it? Is that proportional? Yep. It doesn't have a plus B. Letter H. The weight in X weeks of a puppy that gains 2 pounds per week and its starting weight was 8 pounds. How would I write that? 2x plus 8. Did that have a plus B?
Yes.
That is non-proportional. And J, the cost of purchasing pounds of bananas is 55 cents per pound. That's Y equals 55x. 0.55x. That's proportional. Again, proportional does not have a plus B. Non-proportional does. The next question. An art studio charges $65 per month. Which number gets the X? Which ones can I mark off?
B and C.
B and C. Now, I need y'all to listen to me carefully. If you get confused and you're like, okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to do a plus sign or a minus sign, always pick the plus. If it's a minus, you should see it clearly. Clearly. So if you're ever like, I don't know, what are you going to pick? Pick the plus. So, but always read it, because if it is a minus, you should know. You'll see it very clearly. It'll say something like, it's going down, it's being drained. You see what I'm saying? All right. An art studio charges $65 per month. There is an additional supply of $25. So I have to pay $65 per month plus an additional amount of $25. What was the answer? Again, if you're ever confused, pick the plus. Number 14. Do you even need to read the question?
No.
Where is the answer? Where is the answer? Where the two lines meet. So the answer is, the answer is either 18 what?
Days.
18 days or 15 ribbons. So what was the correct answer? If you picked A, you're lazy, because you didn't look at what 15 represented. Now, I need y'all to stop and listen very carefully. I put the hardest one on the review for number 15. I made the test one easier. The test one will already give you the equation. You don't have to write it. Did y'all hear me? Yeah. But on the review, you had to write it. All right, so how do we write Y is? Thank you. Y equals 4 more than. For more than. Something plus 4 or 4 plus. The quotient, but this is where this one was hard. The quotient. Instead of 2x, it's quotient means division. It's x divided by 2. That's why I put it on the review, y'all. I didn't put it on the test. Now listen, on the test tomorrow, it's going to give you the equation. So how would I match an equation to a table? I could use stat, But instead, I'd have to go put in each answer choice.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Use your y equals button, and then go to second graph. That's on the test tomorrow. So let's do it. Go to your y equals button. Type in alpha y equals x on top, 2 on bottom, tab out, plus 4. I want to match it to one of these tables, yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, so y'all see table in blue?
Yep.
So I'm going to hit second graph, second table. All right, this one says when x is 5, y is 14. Well, let's go look. I'm going to tab till I see x is 5. Do y'all see it? Is y 14?
No.
Nope, so A's out. Let's check C. When x is 0, is y 0?
No.
No.
So what does it have to be?
B.
And then you can see how it says 13 halves?
Yeah.
13 halves is 6.5. If I didn't know, could I go change it to a decimal?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Turn the page. Do I need to read it? Where's my answer? Right there. All right, what's the x value? 5 what? 5 miles. What's the y value?
$20.
$20. Which one says that? H. Last one, number 17. I think this is the way it looks on the test tomorrow. So everybody look. They tried to confuse you with all these coordinates, didn't they? Do you need those coordinates? Do they have anything to do with your answer? This is your answer right here. What's the x value? -2. What's the y value? So what was the answer?
-2,
Y'all stop and tell me, what did somebody do wrong who picked D? They switched it, right?
Yeah.
That's the y comma x. We never do that. It's x comma y. All right, this is your review for your test tomorrow. Okay, you're going to take it home and make sure you know it.